one. Now, there is some good fear, fear that we should have, but most of the day-to-day fears that we feel play a role only in holding us back. And fear does two very unhealthy things in our lives. Number one, fear can create behaviors in us. It causes us to behave in ways that actually bring about the thing that we fear. It's self-fulfilling. Roosevelt said, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. He was so right. About 10 years ago, here's an example of this. We had a student at the drop zone who was nervous. I mean, it's okay to be nervous if you're a skydiving student in class. We kind of like to see that, because we know they're paying attention. After all, it's the only class probably they're going to take all year where if they fail the test at the end of the class, they die. But he was really nervous. So he was what we call an IAD student, instructor assisted deployment student, and his skydive looks like this. Door opens, he climbs out on the strut, he hangs from the strut, and I climb out. I'm the instructor. I've got his pilot chute, the one that opens the main chute. I've got it in my hand, and I'm holding it in the burble behind his back. He lets go, he arches his back, and I throw the pilot chute into the slipstream. It inflates, pulls the pin. He arches his back. He goes, arch 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, check. And by this time, the parachute's opening, and he just reaches up and he grabs his toggles. He does his controllability checks. He listens to the radio that's on his chest strap, and the jump master on the ground talks him back into the drop zone. Now, if he goes, arch 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, check, and there's nothing back there, he also knows what to do. Or if it's a mess, or if it's a streamer, he does this. Look, grab right handle. Look, grab left handle. Right pull, left pull, arch. Usually faster than that, but you get the idea. Okay, this guy was absolutely sure that he was going to have a bad day skydiving. He was so sure that he was going to have what we call them malfunctions, that he decided that he wasn't going to mess around with that arch 1,002, 1,003 stuff. No, he was going to be the fastest cutaway artist in the West. So he lets go of the strut, and he just grabs his handles right off the strut. He lets go, grab the handles, it's going to be bad. And sure enough, his parachute opens. And there's always a little opening shock when the parachute opens because of the sudden deceleration. And at opening shock, his right hand, which happens to be clutching the cutaway handle, goes, huh! Only it didn't cut him away. It left about half an inch of cable stuck through the little loop in the 3-ring release, holding his harness to the parachute. This guy is half an inch from death and has no clue. He looks up and says, oh, I guess it's okay. He grabs his toggles and he's flying it in. He's listening to the instructor on the radio. Man, I did such a good job today. And he turns for his final, and the instructor looks up. He's 100 feet off the ground, and he sees the cutaway handle hanging down here, dangling by his belt. And the instructor goes, oh, no! That's not really what I said, but I can't say what he said. He brings him in real slow. He lands him real gently. He flares for the landing. He takes 2 or 3 steps and did a perfect landing. And when he did, all the pressure came off the 3-ring release system, and the cutaway handle goes clink, falls out on the ground. And his parachute then, plop, it falls off his harness, and it starts blowing down the tarmac in the wind, and he turns around and goes, why did that happen? And by this time, the instructor's in his face, and he heard him say the question, and he goes, because you're an idiot! And again, that's not quite what he said. We didn't ask him. He didn't come back for a second jump, and we didn't call and say, hey, you coming back? His fear nearly caused the thing he was afraid of. You and I do it all the time, folks. We're afraid that somebody doesn't like us, and so we hold them at arm's length. We kind of avoid them. We treat them coolly, and guess what? They don't like us. You made it happen. You're afraid that somebody's going to doubt your intelligence, and so you never admit when you're wrong, never admit when you've made a mistake, which firmly establishes you as an idiot in the eyes of everybody else. You're afraid that somebody is going to resist or ridicule your efforts to be the kind of change agent leader that you need to be, so you don't even try. Fear creates the thing you're afraid of, folks.